All right, good morning. Good morning. This is Monday Pep. That's where we try to get in the right mindset so we can accomplish the things that we set out to accomplish. And we like to take it day by day and day by day and then have a good week. This is where we get to have start brand new. I like that. We get to wake up and say, how can we be better than we were yesterday? Or how can we feel better than we did yesterday? And we realize it all has to do with a mindset of gratitude, a mindset. And today, and particularly, we're going to be talking about persistence and we're going to be talking about determination. So we never want to underestimate those two qualities. Actually, when people are looking for individuals to work with them, especially in sales, one of the qualities that they look to see how persistent and how determined an individual is, and why that's so important. Well, when you think about the things that goes on in life, there's so many things that's being thrown at you. So many things that maybe things that you can't control in your outer world, and sometimes it's even inner or your environment. It's always telling you, no, you can't do it, or you feel like you don't have enough or you're not enough. So somehow we have to learn how to break through all of those obstacles, and we have to have those qualities of persistence and determination. So then you say, well, where do those qualities come from? Well, it's funny. I was looking at, let's see, Sonny. He'll be a year this month. And I was watching him. So he's learning how to walk, right? So that's Alexa's grandson. He's learning how to walk. Now, when he started his baby steps, everybody's encouraging him. Come on, you can do it. Yay. He started clapping. Well, I was observing him, and he was standing across the room, and he was leaning on this cooler, right? He put him crawled up, and he put himself across the cooler. And then when no one he thought was paying attention, it was like I saw something within this baby. And he just like made up in his mind that he was going to walk across the room to his grandmother. And that's the furthest I ever seen him walk. So I was watching him, and I wanted to see how far he was going to go. And he just kept walking. He just kept walking. And to the point he reached her, and then we was like, then we say, yay, you did it. Because we was almost afraid to say anything because we didn't want to break his concentration. And it was like this soon to be 1 year old made up in his mind that he was going to be determined to walk across that room longer than he ever did. What could we learn from that? Well, first of all, what was in him that felt that he can do that? Well, obviously the early encouragement of his family, right? His environment. Say, you could do it. Come on, take those baby steps. And then something within his baby mind says, he made up in his mind, like, I'm going over to my grandma, despite anyone even noticing or telling me to come. And in life, it's like that at times. Hopefully we've had a good start where we had encouraging family to tell us, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. But then some of us may not have had that encouragement. But despite that, how can we develop that? So what is determination? So I'm going to read something I came across. It says determination is a positive emotional feeling that involves persevering towards a difficult goal in spite of obstacles. Determination occurs prior to goal attainment and serves to motivate behavior that will help achieve one goal. So what do you guys think about that? I'm curious. Yolanda, what do you think about the importance of having determination? Well, if you guys have a comment. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's important because if you're not determined, you can't do anything. You can't find your motivation. You can't take the first step. You're not going to reach the goal that you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do we get that? How do we get that determination? Is it something we can buy from the store?
So, gotta find what works for you. And it may be different for everybody.
Yeah. So I was just thinking too with determination. I think it's the conversations that we have. It's the conversations that we learn to have with ourselves, right? Because it's easy. Well, it's nice when we have a support system that's always telling us that we can do something. But what happens if your support system is not there, or maybe they don't agree with what you're trying to do? So it's a balancing act within ourselves, you know, or sometimes the people who we depend on may turn around and say, no, you can't do that. Now, that don't mean that they're trying to be difficult. They may feel that we're trying to achieve something that's totally out of our reach, and they may be very sincere about it. And that's when we have to get to know who we are and be determined, be reasonable, but then be persistent. Because deep down, we have to know who we are and what will it take to accomplish that goal. So we have to know how to talk to ourselves, because sometimes ourselves like to resist what's new. Because human nature is we try to stay the same, right? There's a terminology for that. It tries to, oh boy, the word escapes me now, but it wants to stay balanced. So it doesn't like to be uncomfortable. So anytime that we want to reach out for something new, it's going to take a measure of uncomfort. But the human body doesn't want you to be like, what's wrong? No, no, don't do that. Stay just like it is. Homeostasis. That's the word. Homeostasis. Just stay safe. But when we reach a goal, when we have to wake up and do something, we have to be determined. We have to shake that uncomfortable. So now we have to be our own personal coach. And if we don't have that personal coach yet, if that has not been developed, one way it happens is when you accomplish one thing. Oh, wow. And then you accomplish another thing. But if you never start, you would never know, you would never be able to develop that inner coach in you. So let's look at what we got to accomplish our week today. What is something that we know we need to do that may be a little uncomfortable? And until you develop that inner coach, it's nothing wrong with getting people in your life. That's why people have coaches in their lives, right? Somebody wants to work out. Oh, it's hard to push yourself to where you need to be until you develop that discipline. Even the most successful athletes, they hire coaches because they need that environment so they can be determined, be persistent. So it starts off with baby steps. Every time you do one step, and that's what little Sonny, he started off 1 or 2 steps, fell down a couple of times. He got accustomed to falling down, but he was determined to not let himself get in the way. And he walked further than I ever seen him walk. So we can learn that. It's a friendly reminder that we all had to take those baby steps to start working. So we all have it in us to be determined. Okay, anybody got any closing things? Yolande, how's everything going? I know you've been very determined with working on your new goal, your new business. Anyone got any closing things they want to say on that determination and being persistent?
Yeah, there are some things I need to do that I haven't been able to get myself to do. So And I don't think I'll be able to get them done this week. I don't have much time, but I want to get to them. Make sure. It can be hard sometimes to find that motivation, within me to do it.
So you said it could be hard sometimes. Yeah, sure. And that's where determination comes in.
Yep.
That's good. And that's having
I'll get there.
Of course you are, and you have, look what you have done and the accomplishment. How do you feel each time you accomplish something? How does that make you feel?
Good.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes, and you should be. You look back and say, you know what? Okay, I can keep going. And we realize our accomplishments. We realize our accomplishments is a guide. Like, okay, I did it. So we don't get too complacent with that. But we do build them. It builds our self-worth. I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit, Yolanda.
Oh no, I didn't see anything right now, so there must be a delay because I'm driving.
Okay, all right. So we're going to wrap it up. So we want to just be determined to get it done. And when you accomplish something that's difficult, I know I had a good conversation with Tanya. Tanya is doing so well, and she's she's learning certain things to add to her business, and we're so proud of her. And in the beginning, she would say, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing," but we like, "Yes, you do. You do." And now she is becoming such an expert. She's becoming such an expert at what she's doing. And when we had a conversation with her conversation she sounds so much different than the person who said, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's actually started to become the person who actually does. But she fought through that. Even sometimes we have to know when to shut that chitter chatter in our own head. Sometimes we have to push ahead to those own thoughts in our head to say, you can't do this. And then we start to become in control, say, no, I can do this. I'm not listening to you, until we nurture and we grow up that individual inside who's afraid, who's trying to keep us as an infant. So good. So listen, we wish a successful week for everybody. And let's, when those obstacles are coming, or even when our own self-doubt, or even when our environment, let's be determined. Let's identify what we need to be successful for this week and for today, and be determined and not get distracted. See, determination help us not to be subtracted with nonsense. Okay, so good. Thank you guys. Listen, have a good week and see you guys next week. So enjoy your Monday and the rest of your week. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.